Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this session of Booj and deal management. I'm going to walk you through how you can manage your deals, timelines, checklist through the Booj platform. We're going to go ahead and sign on to Remax.net. Let me share my screen here. That's Remax.net. You'll come to the Max Center sign-in screen. You want to enter your email address, your Remax email address. If you haven't signed on in a while, you're most likely going to get a few pop-ups about the latest updates or changes that have been made. Hopefully these are coming every day, so don't be surprised if you see those. Once you get to the main dashboard here, we want to click on the Booj platform icon. If you've never set up your dashboard, you may not see the same widgets on the dashboard as I have on mine, but these are really just shortcuts to get to the menu items up above. So certainly not something you need to do, but if you are utilizing this platform every day, it's certainly nice to customize it and get it, laid out the way you'd like to see things in front of you. Here, I'm going to go directly into deals. And I just want to show you how this is a really good visual to see where you are in achieving your goal, whether it's transaction-based or dollar-based. And it is divided up by list side and buy side. And once you have your transactions in here, you can see where they are in the stage here. It will also give you the dollar amounts. So really good either way, whether you're tracking it as far as a transaction count. So I have 1, 2, 3, 9 deals in the transaction pipeline, or you can look at it as a dollar amount. So again, very good. Some of us might have whiteboards that we put these things up on. Some of us might have, a flow chart maybe. This is a good on the go. It's in the Booj platform. See where you're at with everything. Okay. Let's go back into the list side. I do have a listing that has closed. I have it here in the pending state, but let me back up and just create a brand new deal for you. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and hit add deal on the top right button there. It's going to ask for the deal name. I'm just going to call this a McCoy sale of home. And this is going to be a list side transaction. And they're just in the prospect stage right now. Let's keep it as prospect because we're just got the notification maybe from them. They called out, said, hey, we're thinking about listing the house. Can you come out and talk with us? But I want to get this in here so I have it in my pipeline. The target price, of course, I haven't run a CMA yet, but we're going to target price it, say around $250, just because we know the area and perhaps maybe you sold them the home even. So we'll keep it at $250. The commission, of course, would be, I'm going to say keep it at 3% because we know the other percentage is going to go to the buyer broker. And until I know I have both sides, I would just conservatively put it at the 3% that I would get as a listing agent. Origination date, we'll put that as in today. Expected close date, I know they're calling me because they want to be able to sell, let's say by the end of June. Primary participant, it should be a contact that you've already added into your database. If this is a brand new person that has just reached out to you, you want to go ahead and add them into the database first, okay? So I'm going to stop here so we can go back and do that step here. Scrolling down though, I do want it to sync to Zipform. This is an integration that's available between Zipform and Booj, so that as long as you keep the information the same, such as the parties' names, it will correspond and speak to each other, and you can access those forms from Booj. It will sign you directly into Zipform. I'm going to go ahead and leave that as yes here, and I'm going to add deal. So right now it doesn't have any contact name other than the title that I gave it. I'm going to go back into contacts and leads up here on the left. And I want to go ahead and add a new contact. So on the top right, I'm going to click on the add/import. And I want to add an individual. And let's just give them a name here. I'll say Tara Smith. Sorry, McCoy, because I did say it was a McCoy sale. And this is a seller. So I want to tag them with the seller distinction. And they are a contact. We are syncing everything with Google now or Outlook. If you've already created that sync in your settings, great. If not, don't worry about it. We can cover that in another class that I do on the contacts management. Here, we're going to enter a phone number for her. I'll just put a dummy number here. It's her phone, home phone. That's all the information I need to do. That's going to add her in, bottom right, clicked on add. Now she's in here. If I go back into my deals menu item up here, and I want to click on that McCoy sale of home, and I want to go ahead and add the parties. See, we're going to edit it right here on the details tab. We don't have our MLS yet. Where did here participants? I apologize. Scroll down a little bit more. You'll see the participants. We want to edit that, and we're going to type in her name that we just added. There she pops up. I don't have any additional participants. I'm going to hit save changes. So now that deal is associated with her. Just to double check that, if we go back into contacts and leads and I search for Tara up here, that'll pull up her right here. And on her contact card on the left-hand side, if you click on deals, you'll see the same icon appear over here. So now they're linked. So anything I do on the deal side is going to be reflected on here. Anything I change about her contact information will be reflected in the deals tab. All right, let's go back up to deals on the top menu here. Let's go back into McCoy sale of home. I want to go ahead and edit the property address. I'm going to click on the little edit button next to property address, and I'm going to go ahead and put in the address here. I'm going to enter it manually because it's not a currently listed property. We're going to say 123, Main Street. We'll say Wonderland, Ohio, and zip code. Okay, we're going to save that. Scrolling down, it's already synced. I've got my target price in there, my participants. Now I'm going to scroll down to the bottom where it's going to ask me to either add an event, add a task, or apply a task plan. The task plans are set up by default in the system already, and they're certainly manageable and editable by you. So I'm going to click on Add Task Plan. It's going to have a pull-down menu where I can view what task plans would be here. And I'm going to say Lee's Listing Task Plan. Seller Close is the default one that's in here and created by the Booj staff. The new listing active is one that I took from their template, and I've edited it a little bit, gave it a new name, and then I went even further into mine. Once I click on Lee's Listing Task Plan, I click Apply. That's going to start populating some tasks that need to be done. Now, granted, I kept them in the prospect stage because maybe I'm sitting down with them. I haven't really seen through the house. It's not going to have any task for me to do. This is something I could add. So let's go ahead and hit Add Task. And I'm going to say Run CMA. And it's going to be due, I'm going to say by the 30th. And it's a pretty high priority. It is a deal. And I'm going to say run CMA prior to meeting with Tara on May 4th. Let's just say we know the 4th, I'm going to sit down and meet with her. I'm going to add that task there. That's going to pop up here. And as you can see, it's in the future. It gave it the title I did. It's a high priority and when it's due by. So as my deal is in the prospect stage, this is the preliminary information that I've put in here and that's displayed to me. If I go back to my deals tab up here and I pull up, we can see she's still in the prospect stage here. My dollar amount has changed as well as my number of deals in my pipeline. I'm going to go ahead and drag her over to active. Maybe I've met with her and I'm going to sit down and actually list the house and it's going to go live on the market. I want to go ahead and keep any open task plans incomplete, and I'm going to hit continue. That just shows that she's been moved over to there. I have one open task, which I'm sure was at CMA, so I do want to go ahead and create that's been done. Once I click on that, it's going to take me into that task, and I'm going to go ahead and say that it's been completed. Perfect. I want to go ahead and click on the title of the deal again. and bring it down here. Now that I've met with her, I know that I'm actually going to price it maybe at $237. I want to click on edit commission, and I'm going to put the target price as the new listing price that we've come to. That's going to readjust my GCI, my gross commission income. I hit save there. When I scroll down here, I want to go ahead and click on that apply task plan again. I want to go ahead and click on Lee's task plan and apply. And it's taking a few minutes to populate into there, but we're going to go ahead and assume that it's taken that there. Click on the active stage here. I don't know why that didn't move it over when I drug it over. It's taking a minute to do that as well. So I apologize for any of that confusion, but let's scroll down back here to the bottom and click on that apply task plan. And you'll see the little command on the right-hand side that says view task plans. Let's go into that for a minute so I can show you where those task plans are. As I said, anything that's kind of default by the system would have been created some time ago, usually in October of 19. Here it is, that seller close, the buyer close. These are ones that, as I said, I can tell by the date they were created by Booj, and they're certainly editable even if they were, and you can copy them. When I click on the task plan name, it's going to bring up the checklist, the task plan that I've created. Here I have in the prospect stage, I should have had a listing prep with seller, meet with the seller, plan pre-list reports and staging. I would have put the seller into Booj. That's an admin task, and I want to create a seller contact in Booj and set up the deal. And then I would have created a marketing portal, which is also an admin task that would create a seller portal in the MLS to keep an eye on the market activity. So again, these are the three things that I would have done when she was still in that prospect stage. I can't answer as to why that didn't populate into my deal screen there, but this is a work in progress sometimes. Once she got moved over to active, these are the next three items that came up. I would have launched a listing. It would have gone into the MLS and showing time design center, gone into the Booj listings tab. I would have created a Remax hustle video, and I would have gone into the social media postings. Now, of course, I did reference design center, which is no longer possible. So let's go ahead and click on the little edit button so I can get my checklist fixed here. Instead of design center, I'm going to take this back and I'm going to type in megaphone. And I'm going to save that. Also, as soon as it goes active, we want to step up our communication. We're going to be communicating with the seller and showing feedback, recent market updates, and the next steps in the process, whether it's to have an open house, maybe they haven't gotten as many showings. I'm going to do a reverse prospect, which just leads me into my next step there, which is prospecting and searching the reverse prospecting in the MLS and sending out a showing time listing alert. Those are all things that you can do to kind of generate some showings for your listing if you're not getting them. I probably sound silly saying that in today's market, but we are not going to be in this market forever. And when it comes back around to the way that the market generally is, it's going to be the agents that master their own systems that are going to be succeeding. Once a listing goes pending, as we scroll down, I want to get into the documents. I want to cover the contract contingencies first, the second contract contingencies, and the third contract contingencies. And again, this is an editable list that I created. So I just was able to create a new task plan and put these lists in, set the days out that I wanted them to be in effect for, so that I get those reminders on time. Again, in the after the pending and we get into closed, I need to send my congrats, sending congrats email to seller and changing the status in the Booj contact card. So as I scroll back up here, let's go back into deals, see if it's populated up a little bit. I still see that it's over here on the McCoy sale home. So let's bump that over to active again. Tell it yes, it's going to update some items. I'm going to click on the name there. Still not showing up in the active. I apologize. That's quite frustrating. Once it got into the active, or does go over into that, you're going to see these tasks populate here as to what needs to be done today, what needs to be done in the near future, and what's not due right now. Okay. If the deal were to fall through, perhaps it expired, perhaps something changed in Tara's motivation to sell the home, you can always click on this fell through. What that's going to do is just kill the deal. It's not going to erase the contact information. It's not going to change anything on her side of that, but it's going to take it out of your pipeline. It's going to subtract that dollar amount. It's going to take away the transaction so that your pipeline is still very true to effect. So I'm going to go ahead and let's put that as fell through now. It's going to ask me why the deal was lost, and this is for your own tracking abilities. We're just going to say other, and maybe we could say job loss. So she didn't really have to sell. She's not looking to sell now. She's going to stay where she's at, look for another job. Okay, so that's going to take the deal out of my pipeline here. If I click back on the deals tab up at the top, she's still showing up there. Let me go ahead and hit the refresh button here. Let's see if that doesn't help speed a few of our things along. No, it did not. All right, so again, I do apologize. On another note, I am on the Remax board for the technology, up and coming. And we did have a meeting yesterday that they are working on revamping a lot of the Booj functions. They're particularly starting with the website functions so that it could be a little bit more user-friendly. And I really look forward to the things they're going to roll out. And then hopefully they're going to dive into things like the deal management and how some of those steps that you take are not populating very quickly. So the system is moving a little slow for my liking. But this does work. It does keep these numbers in front of you and keep you on track. Okay. Again, if you ever need a refresher on anything like this, you can always go into the Max Center into tutorials that they have. Let's go ahead and click on that so I can show you where to find those. But other than that, I wanted to cover this briefly for you so that you could start putting your things in here. And I would put anybody that you have pre-approved, anybody that you've reached out to, even if they're not thinking of selling for a few months, get them in here. It's going to, like you said, start to build your pipeline and really motivate you. It's going to keep you on top of, your business. It's going to see where you're at, where you want it to be, and just keep you moving forward. All right, let's go back into Max Center here. And then we want to click on the news and resources on the left. That's not where I want to go. I'm sorry. Let's click on the apps. And under all, we want to go into the Remax University. I'm sure I saw it 1 second ago. Here we are, Remax University. And once you sign into the Remax University, on the left-hand side, the menu items as to what you want to look into will appear. On the left-hand side over here, we want to go ahead and just scroll all the way down into Technology tab and click on the Booj button. This actually divides it out so that you can see kind of where it's at. It's got some overview videos, some CRM videos, the marketing videos, website videos, anything about teams that you might need to cover, the learning tracks. Let's go ahead and click on learning tracks. And here is Deal Manager. These are short, usually less than 10 minutes. This one is actually an hour, but it actually is a course that's going to go through and kind of introduce you to a lot of the things I just did as well. But if you ever need a refresher, maybe have a specific question, this would be an excellent place to go to. So again, that was Remax University. I scroll down on the left to the technology, clicked on the Booj tab, and then I went into the overview courses. Okay. Click back on the balloon there. That will take us back to that home screen. Now we can just go ahead and X out of that one. So short and sweet. Hopefully that gives you at least something else that you want to utilize, another tool in your belt to keep your business building and booming with Booj. If you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to help. If you'd like a copy of my checklist to kind of get something started and prompt you, I will include that in the email and they'll post it on Facebook. I'll see everybody soon. Have a great day. Thanks.